Welcome to my channel. My name's Lee. You're watching Dark Roots Creations, and this is my October wrap-up. So I just finished my first book of October, and this is Forever in Love by Erin Branscombe. This is number 5 in the Freedom Valley series. I've loved this series so far. In this one, it was the story, it's a romance. It's about SJ and Callie. They met in 7th grade, became best friends, soulmates, started going out. They had their plans to go to college together. She's going to be a doctor. He didn't really know what he wanted to do, but they were going to be together. She kind of comes from a shitty family. Like they're affluential, but they're alcoholics too, and just, you know, she's just a status symbol to them, and they're just assume she's going to be a doctor because that's what they said. Through some series of unfortunate events, SJ winds up leaving when they're younger. It's 12 years later. He's back in the town. He went to the military. He's back in Freedom Valley, and she comes back to Freedom Valley as a doctor. She's going to work there now. She's pissed because he just left her without any sort of explanation. And it's also about making a life there again now. I'm leaving out some details about the people of the town because it's already people we've met. It's some of their childhood friends, some new friends that they have. For example, in one of the other books, I think it was, I can't remember his name. I want to say TJ, but I don't think that's it. Anyway, Ty. Ty is new to town, and he winds up working at the body shop that SJ, Sam Jr., that his father owns, that he works at too. So like you're still meeting people previously. Like we still meet Ethan and Allie, whose family owned the inn. And so we still have all of the backstories of that and how they fit into the story now with SJ and Callie. Really, really love this one. It was super cute. Great backstory. Great current story. Again, I loved seeing all the people from Freedom Valley. And there was also a very cute dog rescue. And yeah, anyway, I really enjoyed it. 5 stars. There's one more book left in the series that I haven't read. Snowed In, I believe it's called. That's on hold for me right now because I was reading this on KU. I had a free trial. So canceling that to the 4th. It was canceled on the 5th. Doesn't matter. Anyway, canceled my KU. I'm going to move on to all the other books that I have for October. Hallowtween and just other ones I'm looking forward to reading. So I'll get back to you when I have the next one read. Okay, so I just finished my second book of October. This was Margot's Got Money Troubles by Rufi Thorpe. So good. This is about a girl named Margot whose mom was like a Hooters waitress, secret gambler, and her father was a pro wrestler. And she winds up having sex with one of her professors in college, getting pregnant, and because she has to take care of the kid and she has no skills, no money, nothing, she winds up working on OnlyFans. And that was enough to just make me, this was suggested to me because it had pro wrestling in it, and it really does go into a lot of detail about wrestling, like specific details. It was so good. I mean, there's like the hopelessness in like her situation. Like at one point she has roommates in the beginning because she was like in college, and they, like when she has the baby, and everybody just tells her to, like, you know, not to have the baby, it's stupid, you're ruining your life. And that's kind of why she has the baby. And yeah, just so much goes on, and it's like such a helpless, like hopeless situation of like, how's she gonna make it work? And her dad like gave her so much good advice through this. Like that's like through somebody in wrestling. That's how she found out about OnlyFans, and she meets up with some other creators, and like her dad being there with her, and like one of the roommates stayed, and this isn't really giving anything away. It was just such a good story of her like with the kid, trying to make everything work. And of course I loved all the wrestling references. It was just really good. It's just about people like down on their luck and like making the best of it and figuring it out. And that's definitely what she did. Yeah, I don't know. I recommend it. It wasn't anything I would have ever picked up, like based on the cover or the title, but like, thanks Sharon for recommending, like, suggesting this to me, because it was so good. I really enjoyed it. 5 stars. I don't know why my lips look purple. Anyway, just finished my first middle grade of October. This is it a middle grade? Yeah. This is The Weirdies by Michael Buckley. This was an Audible exclusive. It was narrated by Kate Winslet. Let me tell you what it's about. I'm going to read the thing to you. It says, if you're a fan of A Series of Unfortunate Events, Edward Scissorhands, or The Darkest Bits of Roald Dahl, the Weirdy triplets, Barnacle, Garlic, and Melancholy will feel like old friends. After being left behind when the entire estate of Deadeye Manor is packed up for a doomed vacation cruise, the triplets have to learn how to fend for themselves. From their time at Our Lady of the Perpetual Side-Eye Orphanage to their adoptive home on a picture-perfect Sunshine Circle, the Weirdies have a lot to learn about the world, but at least they have each other. Super cute. Definitely Series of Unfortunate Events vibes I got from it. So it's like there are 3 kids. They're kind of monsters, whatever. They grew up in a very dark home in this way of like morbid. I can't even describe it. Addams Family-esque. Cruise happens. Family's wiped out. They get sent to this orphanage. I mean, come on, the orphan was Our Lady of the Perpetual Side-Eye, hilarious name. And then they get picked up to go into a home in a very, if their world was black, white, and gray, this is all color. Everybody's house is painted like banana and blueberry and lavender, and that's just not these kids at all. And it's them not fitting in, them wanting to make the person who adopted them happy. I don't know. It was just, I don't want to give anything away. It was not that there's anything to give away. It's just a really cute story about these triplets and being together and then trying to move forward in life after losing their family. So anyway, I really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. This is the first in the series. It says that there's 3 books out. So there's The Weirdies. Book 2 is The Weirdies Get Weirder. And then book 3 is The Weirdies. Maybe it is a bit too weird. So they sound cute. I probably will listen to the other 2. I know a second one is by Kate Winslet, and I forget the third one, but another celebrity author. So that's it. Really enjoyed it. Like I said, 4 stars. Okay, so I just finished another book. This was Still Mad About You by Liz Maverick. This was one of those short Audible exclusive, like Audible Plus rom-coms. It was super cute. I really enjoyed it. It was about a girl named Danielle, a guy named Asher. Back in high school, they ran against each other for some class office. And you could tell by how mad Danielle is that he won. And later on you find out why he won, which is just ridiculous, or why he even ran, which was absolutely ridiculous. But now it's several years later, and they're both like on some like reunion committee, and they're planning out like a scavenger hunt type of thing, treasure hunt to do at the reunion. And it's set in New York. They're doing that. And in addition to that, one of the other things they did was they did time capsules. So they think like the cool idea would be at the end, after they do this whole treasure hunt and they're going to meet up, is that everybody would open their time capsule. And Asher is very adamant that he gets his back and that he opens it first. And yeah, so we go from there. He doesn't live in New York anymore. He lives in San Diego. So they're kind of doing everything by phone, video chat, that type of thing. And it's just them getting to know each other as adults now, and a little bit maybe confessions from high school, and planning this reunion. It was short. It was like only maybe 2 hours, a little over that.
But I thought it was super cute, exactly the type of thing that I wanted to read about, and I very much enjoyed it. I gave this one 5 stars.
Okay, so I finished another book. This was originally a buddy read that kind of turned into a DNF for buddy reading. We got to the 50% mark. We were just like, we don't care. And I did finish going on listening to it. This is The Whispers by Ashley Audrain. It says, on Harlow Street, the well-to-do neighborhood couples and their children gather for a catered barbecue as the summer winds down. Drinks continue late into the night. Everything is fabulous until the picture-perfect hostess explodes in fury because her son disobeys her. Everyone at the party hears her exquisite veneer crack, loud and clear. Before long, that same boy falls from his bedside window in the middle of the night, and then his mother can only sit by her son's side of the hospital bed, where she refuses to speak to anyone, and his life hangs in the balance. What happens next, over the course of a tense 3 days, as each of the women grapple with what led to that terrible night? It says, a page-turner about 4 families whose lives are changed when the unthinkable happens and what is lost when we give in to our own worst impulses. If that was supposed to sound exciting, it didn't happen for me. That little incident happens in the very beginning of the book. You're going back and forth between like 4 characters, and most of the time I couldn't remember who was who. And I just didn't, it's like, honestly, like I'll just say right now, I don't care, this doesn't really seem like a spoiler to me. So this chick has the issue with her son. Another one keeps having miscarriages. Another one is an older woman who lives in the neighborhood who you keep hearing about her past and her current story. And the other one is constantly, she's carrying around this condom wrapper from her husband cheating on her, or she believes he cheated on her, and she's trying to match up the condom wrapper. Some of these women could possibly be the same woman, because it was just that uninteresting to me that I don't care. I was just listening to listen. Sort of toward the end, I started to like figure out a little bit more of who was who, but I didn't care. Nothing exciting happens. And it's actually saying over the course of 3 tense days. I'm like, geez, that was only 3 days, because it felt like it went on forever. I know a lot of people read this because they read the push. I didn't read the push. The person I was buddy reading with did, and it's funny, she said she didn't like it, so she was giving this one as a second chance. Maybe it's just the writing. I wasn't interested. There's no mystery. There's no thriller. Even hearing at the end, like, I guess the twist, the reveal, whatever, I was like, okay. General women's fiction, that's probably what I would rate it. 2 stars. It was just okay to me. I only finished it because I was listening to 2 times speed and I didn't have that much longer to go. My other reading so far this month has been pretty good, so I'm just going to chalk this up to whatever and move on. Okay, so I just finished Sisterhood of Sleuths by Jennifer Chambliss-Bertman. This is a middle grade. It's about a girl who, her mom owns like a secondhand shop type of thing, and there's a box found outside of her shop and it has Nancy Drews in it. She looks inside one and there's a picture taken in the past with some women in it, and the girl realizes one of them is her grandmother. And the mystery goes on from there. So she writes stories, she does movies, she does all of this with her best friend, Isabella. And Isabella's at the point in life where she kind of wants to do things different. She's getting interested in boys, growing up a little bit, and she wants to focus on that, where Maisie, the main character, she just wants to focus on, now she wants to focus on this Nancy Drew mystery. When she asks her grandmother about it, her grandmother says no, she didn't leave that box of books there. And she does meet up with an old friend she had at school because they're working on a school project. And that's when they decide to focus on Nancy Drew, the mysteries, the good, the bad, everything that the Nancy Drew world revolves around. So one, you learn a lot of stuff about Nancy Drew if you didn't know about it, such as Carolyn Keene, the author of Nancy Drew, is just really like a pseudonym for a bunch of other people who wrote the books. How a teacher kind of tells them like the dark side of the Nancy Drew series type of thing, how things were changed. And at the same time as they're working on the school project, she's kind of dealing with her and Isabel are on the outs a little bit, reconnecting with her old friends, working on the school project, and then trying to figure out like the mystery with the box of books, who left it, why the picture of her grandmother that her grandmother seems to know nothing about. So overall, it was really good. I give this 4.5 stars. I read it in one day. It was super cute. Yeah, that's it. I would absolutely recommend it if you're into Nancy Drew, middle grade, young girl books, young girl books, middle grade books, and you just kind of enjoy that like sisterhood type of thing. So, okay, so I just finished another book. This was one of those Audible Plus rom-coms. This was Still Hung Up on You by Liz Maverick, who I really do like her quick rom-coms. This is cute. This was about Hannah and Ethan. They used to go out. He dumped her when they were younger. It's years later now. It's going to be her parents' 50th anniversary, so she wants this sweater that was her dad's back in the day. She used to wear it, and she had left it at his house one day. Well, now she wants the sweater back. Ethan doesn't live at that house. He still owns that house, but he doesn't live there, so he's kind of like, well, just go get it. There's such like a funny, like the comedy definitely comes in them with her trying to get to the house to get the sweater. And yeah, it was just such a cute rom-com. So many funny things happen in this. I'll just say one really quick. So he was a huge Star Wars nerd in high school. And when they broke up, he broke up with her, and everybody at school was calling her Hannah Solo for like Han Solo. Anyway, I thought that was funny. Really cute. It's just one of those like comedy, romance, feel good. It was exactly what I wanted. It was super quick. I think it was 2 hours, 2.5 hours maybe. I was listening to it throughout the day when I would be in my car riding around, and then I just finished the rest of it while I was making dinner. So super cute. Really loved it. 5 stars. It was just enough that like you got what you wanted out of it, and it was over. So if you're into those, highly recommend it. Super quick, free on Audible if you have Audible Plus. Yeah, that's it. 5 minutes to wrestling, so I'm gonna go, and I will talk to you guys when I finish another book. Okay, I just finished The Sherlock Society by James Ponti. This is the first book in the series. Middle grade. First of all, I love James Ponti City Spy series, so I was looking forward to this one a lot. This is about 2 siblings, Alex and Zoe, and they're 2 friends, or they're actually Alex's friends, but they become Zoe's friends, Lena and Yadi. And they live in Miami, and it's about to be summer. Zoe and Alex's parents wouldn't send Zoe to this like fancy summer camp, so she winds up like teaming up with her brother and his 2 friends who are already in the Sherlock Society, which is just like a ode to Sherlock Holmes. But Zoe suggests that they start their own detective agency. So I should probably also say the father's like a marine biologist, something with oceanography. The mother's a lawyer, and she's always known for taking on the cases that like aren't going to win, but she's going to make it happen. This also has the grandfather who used to be a reporter and definitely helps the kids out. So the case that they're working on is the grandfather gave him a bunch of like old newspaper articles like that he'd written. And they see one for Al Capone, the gangster, and like a buried treasure. So they go out looking for that, and it turns into something much bigger than that. So they wind up working on another case. I'm going to leave it at that because I don't want to give away any of the details of it. This is also like with the City Spies, like I don't want to give away details of the cases that they're working on. But I will just say that I love the combination of the 4 kids as well as the grandfather. He's hilarious with it. And the parents who wouldn't approve, but then like do approve of certain things that they're doing. So I don't want to say anything else about the case. I really enjoyed the friend dynamic, the sibling dynamic, the family dynamic. It was set in a good place because it's like you have the Miami aspect, Everglades. They're on ships, they're on boats, they're in the water. Really good. I can't give away anything else, so I'm gonna leave it at that. There is a book 2 out called Hurricane Heist. I'm hoping I'm still gonna get to that one in October. If not, I will save it for the next middle grade that we do. But yeah, 4 stars for this one, and it was a great start to a series. Okay, so I just finished 3 books in the past 2 days. The first one is Sweet Talk by Cara Bastone. This is number 2 in the Love Lines trilogy. There's 3 books out. I don't know if there's going to be more or not, but this is about a woman who, she's home, it's late at night, and she thinks she gets drunk texted by her crush, Elliot. So he's an insomniac, they start chatting, whatever, and then they just wind up continuing to chat over the next few days. The thing is, Elliot has dyslexia, so when he doesn't always remember somebody's name, so he'll just kind of like type in something really fast when he saves somebody's number, and then when he has time and he can focus, he then writes their name properly in his phone. For some reason, that didn't happen with this girl, so the last 2 letters he typed in are JD, so that's how he refers to her. So he knows he's met her before, but she knows who he is for sure. So everywhere he goes over the next few days, he's kind of like, is that her? Could that be JD? That type of thing. But they're still talking the whole time, and she doesn't want to tell him how they know each other because she just feels that would ruin everything. And if she does, she'd have to tell him a secret, and it's part of the insomnia thing. It sounds a little bit vague, but this is just one of those, like, it was the Audible rom-com shortish type of books. I think it was under 6 hours. It was just really cute. I enjoyed the first book in the series, and actually Elliot is a mentioned character in the first one. So super cute, really enjoyed it. I gave this one, I think I gave this one 4.5 stars. 4 stars for this one. So really cute if you're just looking for one of those quick rom-com. This takes place in the city. She has a really good backstory. I just really enjoyed this one. This is just like, if you're looking for that type of quick rom-com, this is the perfect one. Okay, I'll skip over the second one I read. I'll go right to the third one. This is Seatmate, which is number 3 in the Love Line series by Cara Bastone. On this one, there is a woman who, she has to take a bus ride from Boston to New York. Her reason, I'll say, because it's not really that big of a deal, is she does interviews and photography for people, and her specialty is people that have interesting tattoos, piercings, how people adorn themselves, and their stories behind that. So she has the opportunity, there's this artist that's like a recluse, and she has the opportunity to get an interview. Of course, she has a rival who also has the opportunity to get the interview, so she has to get back to the city as fast as possible, and for whatever reasons, she has to get on this bus. Trains, planes, that's not working out, she has to do this bus. So now there's a dude on the bus who always takes the bus. He's very much a mama's boy, and he takes the bus like once a month to go see her, or whatever amount of time. Very often, like, he knows the route. He even knows if he's been on this bus before, based on like how the carpeting on the ground is worn away. They wind up sitting next to each other. They just start talking, and as they're sitting there, his mom is like calling and hooking him up with blind dates. She managed to get him the opportunity of a date with his like high school crush, and she's like gonna meet him at the bus stop. So it's like super embarrassing. There's even another lady on the bus who gets involved in the conversation. But as it's going on, it becomes this, oh, and then of course something happens and the bus breaks down, and it becomes this race of him helping her to get to her interview before her rival does, so she gets the interview, and him trying to get all this done while still making it on time for the high school crush date that he's supposed to go on. Of course, they both fall for each other while they're on the bus, but do they tell each other? Of course not. So we have to have that. But they're still helping each other, and this one was just so good. I really love this one. I hope she writes more in this series because they're just so cute. I don't think either of these people had anything to do with the first two, the books of the first two characters in the first two books, but doesn't matter. I still enjoyed this one. This one I gave 4.5 stars. Okay, and the last one was a thriller. This is She Didn't See It Coming by Shari LaPena. This was a buddy read that I did, very impromptu buddy read, but anyway, this is about Bryden and Sam, the perfect couple, and one day he goes to work, he gets a phone call from the school, the daycare, saying, hey, your wife didn't come pick up your daughter. He runs out, he goes to pick her up, he comes home. Everything in the house looks fine, except Bryden is not there. Nothing seems to be out of place. There's no sort of like forced entry. Her stuff is still there, like her purse, her keys, her phone. So it's almost like she just disappeared or she just walked out. So now it's trying to find what happened to Bryden. There's a cast of characters that live in their apartment building. When the cops come, they interview people. There's also, she had a fender bender with somebody earlier on, so they go to interview him. Her best friend comes to town to figure out what's going on. Her sister comes to help. Her parents come up from Florida. So it's a mix of, sometimes from certain people's points of view, the cops doing the investigation, an online blog forum, and just what information you're given to figure it out. This was super fast paced, super interesting, and honestly, I felt like at every point, everybody was like a suspect. Like it could have been anybody. Of course, as time is going on in the story, you start to hear everybody else's stories, their secrets, what's going on. So even if it doesn't necessarily seem like it has something to do with Bryden, you're like, well, there's a side story of drama right there too. Went super quick again, really enjoyed this one. I love Shari LaPena. This was also narrated by January Lavoie, who's one of my favorite narrators, so that definitely helped as well. I believe I gave this one 4.5 stars. Could have been 4.75. My only, and this is like not even a big deal, was I just felt like they kind of went on a little too long with a few different things, that they could have cut that down a little bit. But still, it's at trying to check the pages, 337 pages. Again, super fast paced. Really enjoyed this one, and I think this is, I'm officially caught up, read to zero on Shari LaPena. Okay, so just coming on for my last book of the month. This was The Traitors by C.A. Lynch. I'm gonna read the plot to you real quick. It says, 6 people find a thick cream envelope on their doorstep. Inside is an invitation to spend 24 hours in a crumbling manor house and be in with the chance to win a portion of $1 million. The Beechwood Castle was the site of one of the most horrific murders in modern history. The smell of blood, decay, and death still hangs heavy in the air. 6 people will walk in the house. One of them is an imposter. All of them are traitors. Which one of them will survive the night? Okay, so all of that happens. There was this axe murderer back in the day. He killed a bunch of girls in this house. There was one final girl. She is one of the 6 people that come along for the chance to win. There is an author. There's a like a vlogger who does like true crime stuff. There's an architect. There's some other guy, and the other person, I want to say, had something to do with somebody that was accused of being the axe murderer in the beginning. So that's pretty much the people that are there. Everyone feels that they're an imposter. Oh no, wait, there was also another woman. So maybe the guy was Cornelius, I think was his name. He was the one that was also involved with somebody from the past. Anyway, everybody comes together. There's secrets right away. Everybody kind of thinks that they have one up on everybody else there. It was good. It wasn't great. It was kind of slow at parts. I mean, the idea of this, it's like, okay, it's like almost like reality TV. It's going to be recorded type of thing. So, and I did just read another book like that, so that already was kind of like meh. I'm sorry if you can hear my very loud upstairs neighbor who can't walk a flight of stairs or shut a door without slamming it. So if you hear him stomping around, I apologize. It just didn't hit for me. This is definitely missing something. The killer from the original crime is revealed. And that's partially because like there are people here who kind of know what's going on, or they think they do. I wouldn't say that it's some of the things that people are just, the fact that you had to put some reviews in the plot of the book on Goodreads, I was so wrapped up in the drama, I didn't guess the killer until the end. You wouldn't guess the killer until the end. You wouldn't guess the killer until they tell you. Heart pounding, pay attention, discount no detail, and don't read in the dark. No, that wouldn't have even played in. Kept me guessing. I don't really think any of this would have kept you guessing. You're just sort of going along. Good twists, an amazing location, and good storytelling. There was a good backstory as far as like the axe murderer part of the story. There were twists in it. Some of them just weren't that good. Overall, I don't want to bash this. Overall, I gave this 3.5 stars. It was good, not great. I also realized I never gave this video an ending, so sorry about that. These are the 12 books I read for the month of October. 3 of these were for Halloween. I got a couple rom-coms in, a few buddy reads, some thrillers, and I feel like I got over my reading slump from September. So let me know what you guys read. What were some favorites or not so favorite? And yeah, we'll catch up in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Hey, thank you so much for watching. Your support means a lot to me, and I love connecting with our amazing community. If you enjoy my content, please like and subscribe to stay updated with my latest videos. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.